Hello everyone, that Manga Kid here to give my review of Kyoko Okazaki's River's Edge. This is a Kodansha release, single volume. This is the third work, I believe, that we've gotten by Okazaki. It's at least the third work I own. There could be something else that was released that's out of print that I'm not aware of. Previous works were Pink and Helter Skelter, both released by Vertical. Obviously, Kodansha owns Vertical now, so Kodansha has published this one many years later, though, so it was a bit surprising when we got this announcement. Pleasantly surprised I was. River's Edge, I believe, was written or serialized in a magazine in 1993, if I am correct on that, based on what's written in the back of this volume. This really actually surprised me. So our main character is this girl. She's in high school, I believe, and there's a boy in her class who is bullied very heavily by her sort of boyfriend and his friends. This boy is rumored to be gay, and he is just like really beaten on a daily basis. He's just trying to lay low. He's just doing his thing, but he really is not liked by his classmates. Girls really like him though because he's attractive, but he's got a girlfriend that he is using to try and appear to be not gay. But what really surprised me about this work is how the conversations surrounding his being gay went, considering how long ago this was written. There is a particular moment that isn't really a spoiler, it's just a conversation between the main character and the boy, where she starts asking him about his sex life, and he says, like, he starts asking her about hers and basically throwing the questions back at her to be like, well, what about you? Like, you know, and then she's like, whoa, like, why? And he's like, yeah, why is it that everybody immediately wants to know about sex as soon as they find out someone's gay? Like, it's not appropriate to ask those questions. And, you know, maybe that was a liberty with the translation to English. I'm not sure because I haven't read the original Japanese of this release, but I mean, that's something so relevant today that the queer community is still fighting people on and using that language to turn it back on people, to be like, why is this always a sexual thing with people who aren't in the queer community? Why does it always have to jump immediately to sex? Like, that's not, and it's not appropriate to ask those questions or do, you know, anything in that regard unless I've invited you to ask questions. But yeah, that was just something that really stood out to me in this particular story. But either way, they kind of become acquaintances / sort of friends. But this whole story revolves around the group of them. This boy, the main girl, her boyfriend who's bullying him, and a couple other characters are in play as well. And it's unsettling. It's clearly mental illness is running rampant among this group of teenagers. A lot of clear trauma that has not been processed and also is still continuing in some of their lives. And it's a really poignant story about all of these individuals and how their lives kind of all intersect at this one point. And it's really beautifully written. I would say I love Helter Skelter. I have to reread Pink, but I remember a lot of Pink. even though I've only read it once and I read it many years ago. Helter Skelter I've read a few times. This one might be my favorite of Okazaki's work so far. I think it was really fascinating, and I think it was really well written and creepy, and just like, she really does write unlikable characters very well. And I wouldn't say that every character in this is unlikable, but certainly all of them have unlikable traits. But then they're also young. They're young people dealing with their lives, and you're just, a part of you can't really blame them for their behavior, except the boyfriend. He's just a jerk, but to put it lightly. But yeah, it's a really, really good read, and I don't want to spoil it, which is why I'm trying to be vague. But certainly if you haven't read any other Okazaki works, a lot of her works deal with sexual violence and regular violence. And so know that going in, those themes are definitely present in this volume or series as well. But yeah, this volume as well is just so beautifully, like, I love the color scheme. This was excellent. I definitely recommend reading it. I certainly recommend getting all of her works that are available in English, but this one is really, really great. And I would love to see more of her stuff get translated. Her art style is very unique. It's very much, her. So, if you're not into art that doesn't look like super perfect and pristine, then maybe stay away from this one. But it's definitely a really excellent series or story that I recommend. If you've read this, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you've read anything similar to this that you would like to recommend, I would always love a recommendation. But yeah, thank you so much for watching.